In today's video, we are going to learn a literary theory, new criticism. Today's video will consist of three parts. Part number first, analysis of the expression, new criticism. Part number two, historical perspective of the theory, new criticism. And part number three, leading figures of the theory, new criticism. So let's start the video. Part number first is analysis of the expression, literary theory, new criticism. The expression, new criticism consists of two words. The first word is new and the second word is criticism. As we all know that the meaning of the word new is modern or anything which is discovered recently, while the word criticism means to evaluate or to judge the merits and demerits of something or literary work. As we are here concerned with literature, therefore criticism means to evaluate or to judge the merits and demerits of a literary work. By combining the two, we get the meaning that new criticism is a modern or recent way or method for the criticism of a piece of literature. To further explain it, let us analyze it in detail. Here, the expression new criticism suggests that there was a classical criticism. If it is new criticism, then definitely there will be classical criticism too. So, in order to understand new criticism, we must know the classical criticism. And in order to know the difference between the classical criticism and new criticism, I would like to divide the timeline of criticism into two parts. We will call the criticism before 1910 as classical criticism, and the criticism after 1910 will be considered as new criticism. In classical criticism, the critics used to criticize a piece of literature by knowing the socio-economic, historical, and political context of the age and the biographical background of the author, which was really a tough task. It was a hard job because knowing the socio-economic, historical and political background of each age and biographical background of each author required great knowledge on the part of the critic. As far as the great critic of this group are concerned, the great critics of this group include Plato, Aristotle, Dryden, and all other great critics which were before the 20th century. Now, in order to make this process, that is criticism, more easy, a new group of critics emerged in the early 20th century, and this group of critics laid the foundation of literary theory, new criticism. Now, what is new criticism? Who are the leading critics? And what are their views? We will learn it in part 2 of this video. So, let's move towards the second part of the video, which is historical perspective of the literary theory, new criticism. New criticism is a literary theory that emerged in the 1940s and 1950s. It emphasizes close reading and analysis of literary texts with a focus on their internal structure rather than the author's biography or the social and historical context in which the texts are written. New criticism emerged as a response to the prevailing literary criticism of that time, which was dominated by historical and biographical approaches, as I already told you. New critics rejected the historical and biographical approaches and emphasized that new meaning can be obtained by focusing on the text itself. I.A. Richards was the most important critic of new criticism. He was a teacher and he used to give his students literary works, especially poems. He used to remove dates and names of the authors and would tell them to evaluate those poems. His students used to focus on the text only and would uncover the new meaning. I.A. Richards published those poems and its evaluation in his book Practical Criticism in 1929. It was in this book that he emphasized on the importance of close reading, and he rejected the concept that in order to evaluate a piece of writing, one needs to know the historical and biographical information of the author. So, I think you may have understood it now. Okay, let's move towards the next part, which is part 3. Part 3, the leading figures of the literary theory, New Criticism. The most important critics of this theory are I.A. Richards, Clint Brooks, Wimsatt and Beardsley, and John Crowe Ransom. Now I'm going to share with you the most important critics and their works that contributed to the literary theory New Criticism. The first one is Clint Brooks. He is the most influential critic of New Criticism. Okay? In his book, The Well-Wrought Urn Studies in the Structure of Poetry. It is the name of his book. And he wrote this book in 1947. He argued that the structure and form of a poem are essential to its meaning, and the reader's attention should be focused on the poem itself rather than its context or author. Okay, the next one is John Crowe Ransom. He was a poet and critic who established New Criticism as a literary theory. In his book, The New Criticism, which he wrote in 1941, he presented the main points of this theory. He emphasized on the importance of close reading and rejected the author intentions and historical context of the text. Number 3 is W.K. Wimsatt and Beardsley. These two critics developed the theory of intentional fallacy and affective fallacy. They introduced these concepts in their essay, The Intentional Fallacy, 1946. If you want to go in detail, what does intentional fallacy and affective fallacy is, I have made a video on this topic. You can also watch it. Okay, so they introduced the concept in their essay, The Intentional Fallacy, and they published this essay, The Intentional Fallacy, in 1946. Intentional fallacy means that it will be a mistaken assumption to say that the intention of the writer or of the author is the same as the meaning of the text. Affective fallacy means that it will be a fallacy or error to evaluate a literary text on the basis of a reader's emotions and views. They were of the opinion that if one wants to get new meaning, one must focus on the text only. So, to conclude, we can say that the literary theory, New Criticism, focuses on the close reading of a text and analysis of its structure. It rejects the author's biography and the historical context of the text. So, dear viewers, it was all about the topic literary theory, New Criticism. I hope you may have understood the topic. If you have any question regarding this topic, you can ask me in the comment box. Thank you for watching. Allah Hafiz.